Talking about starting off, man. Dlow just dropped an album.
Yeah. Yes. Guys, first off, I'll just say this is What's the Word Podcast. We're here with AR, Black Pegasus, and the one and only Dlow, a.k.a. Dan.
Hey.
I figured we get this thing started right now.
A.k.a. the instrument.
Yeah, you aren't lying, man. You're not lying.
Beyond, so he's so blessed, right? He's rapping, he's singing, and then he makes all of the instrumentation, right, with his voice, but then just his speaking voice. Like, I'm like, bro, tell me some stories, man. Like, bro, like, this is great. It's amazing. Like, you got it all, man. Welcome to the damn show.
I appreciate that. I don't, that's quite, I don't know if you guys, so I know you guys are all in the rap realm. And it feels like, especially over here in the UK, it feels like an insecurity how your voice sounds is like the biggest part that plays if you can be a rapper or not. I don't know if that's the case over in your guys' culture-wise, but I definitely didn't think I had no singing or rapping voice by speaking.
I think opposite, bro.
Voice for me to listen to a rapper, voice, even singers, rock artists, vocalists, the voice is very important for it to stick with me when I want to listen to it. So I always gravitate toward like the Pop Smokes, like the dope type of, you know. And
you like that heavy bass. You like the heavy, deep.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's what he's into.
Like that shit. Yeah, but I think Dlow, when I heard you rap, so the first one was the music video, which was "Don't Change When You're Famous."
Yeah.
So that was a surprise to me because I was like, oh, he actually barring on this one. Okay, he's spitting. And I was like, oh, his voice sounds dope on rap. And then when I went to the other ones, what was it? Istanbul?
Oh, don't even get me started. I got so much stuff.
There's a few where you're rapping, and then there's also a few where you get like this melancholy, like vulnerable side. I think it was it Mind Blank or what was it?
Yeah.
That one I also really like. Go ahead, Cliff. Cut you off, bro. Didn't mean to.
No, you're good. I was gonna say I noticed. I think you were working on a track with Inky. Do I have that correct?
That's right. Some parades.
Some parades. Yeah. And I heard you spitting bars, and I'm like, dude. I'm like, and you are right. You said something about artists in the UK. If the accent is too thick, it's hard for people in the US to pick up on. But it's been growing exponentially here in the US because it's gotten pretty stale, our styles here. So what you guys do in the UK with your callbacks, it's so insane how you guys, the structure of your bars are much different than how we set up things here in the US. So yep. I was instantly drawn in, especially if I could understand what you're saying, then I'm like, oh, I'm all in.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was sleeping on UK like drill until I started doing reactions. And that's when I was like, also there's this changing of the guard. And it's just like with trends, there's like waves, and the UK's on a wave. K-pop has their thing, you know, but there's these different things changing. So when you were saying what you were saying, I was like, bro, it's your time in a sense, because right now I feel like the wave is kind of leaning towards a lot of the UK drill. It just sounds different.
Yeah, and it's like Sench, for example, he's worldwide.
Yeah, Drake's been stealing flows from everybody over there.
But Drake steals flows from everybody, bro. But Drake co-signed Sench on that freestyle.
Yeah,
and Drake is mimicking Sench's style and Dave and all that. Like these two are big.
Yep.
But talking about the UK, like the drill now, drill is really big. But it started with grime, man.
Like, I love grime.
Grime, that Skepta, that JME, like that's the type of shit that I kind of grew up on as well. Also, so I'm from Belgium, but I gravitated to also the UK and US type of rap.
Bro, when I started the reaction channel, I was only like a couple weeks in, and people from the UK caught my channel. And by the way, I have like the best subscribers probably. I mean this, like from the UK across the pond. So kind it's ridiculous. And first they started me off with Dave, which I'm sure you're familiar with some of these artists I'm about to list. So they hit me with Dave, and I was like, this dude's nasty. Like, I got to check out more. Then they were like, oh, check out Rex 32 and Avelino. They had a freestyle together. I was like, this is dope. I was catching most of the bars, but some of the references were the UK things that I wouldn't know. It's Southside Chicago. They don't teach us stuff. Then they go, okay, Cliff, you did a good job. Here's a Kala. And I was like, who? Like a Kala. Dude, I did not know this man was a damn professor. This dude was giving me history lessons on like the world in a freestyle in double time. I was like, I can't break this down for shit. You guys threw me off the deep end.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting that it's like picking up across the globe. I mean, it's tough because from my perspective, the UK rap, there's like certain points that are trying to be hit by the artists in the UK, and I think that the trends or the biggest success in UK rap is so much different to how we've seen like American hip hop or even just like drum and bass rapping or anything over the start of this millennium, because we're trying to go deep on, like, for example, single entendre that doesn't make sense. Like, we like to go as simple as it can be, where it's still hard to understand. And I'm so surprised by when I've seen you guys react to the bars that I've done. So I've seen you guys specifically. It must have been Some Parades and Don't Change When You're Famous that has a music video. And you guys are picking up on things that I wouldn't have predicted that you would have. Maybe that's just that. Maybe that's a lack of my part, and you guys, how good you are at reading what you read. But you're not supposed to sometimes. Like, especially in Some Parades, like there's some things that no one that I've seen can pick up on because it's too deep. You have to have lived in this country for a decade plus to know what's going on with those bars. And I think that's what the UK rap culture likes the most, is to make it as English as it could be, where even I'm confused when I listen to some of the bars from Wretch. And Wretch would be confused at other bars, and then eventually you pick up on it, and then those terms and those angles are used, and now there's even more confusion. And I think it's about being the most confusing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I wouldn't even say like it's not confusing, but like, okay, here's an example. Like, I was listening to your album again at the gym today, and I just was pointing out little things in my head, and I had to write them down really quick. You said something about in Istanbul, like, you know, so you said something like, took a flight, when I come back and unite the kingdom, or United Kingdom. You like how you unite the kingdom. I liked how you did that. Then you also said, just like a tower, I fall. But Eiffel Tower. I was like, God damn it, man. I'm like, I've heard this 3 times. I'm just hearing this now. But you had them throughout every single song. I was just like, man, you said something, you said a bunch of stuff, man. You said, I had one on Mark Tier. You said, I don't want to hear that fucking monkey smack those cymbals. I didn't know what you meant by that, but I was laughing my ass off. I was like, what is this dude talking about, man? That shit was hilarious.
So I don't know if it's UK rap culture or if it's just my style preference, but I like to paint images that are strong, and that's probably the deepest part of my rap style. So I like to use words that I haven't heard other people use, like llamas. Or I like to paint pictures that are really vivid, they might not necessarily have a deeper sense, but I just like to find terms people haven't, like I've never heard. So for example, if you use the term déjà vu, that's something that everyone says once every few months. And if you say it, it might link to a song if the song is in its USP. So if there's a song about déjà vu, that's the song you'll go to when déjà vu comes to your mind. And I just like painting weird images. That's one of my styles when it comes to writing a song or rapping. So the monkey on the cymbals, you laughed. That's the response that I'm happiest to receive.
You talking about the bananas, and I heard the monkey slap. I was like, what? This man? I had to rewind it when I was lifting weights. I was like, I can't lift weights. Listen, I laughed. I'm gonna drop a weight on my toe.
But on the Eiffel Tower bar. But there's a lot of references there that. So like, I definitely use. I know that it's quite a limited understanding some of the bars, because a lot of them football references. Like in Some Parades, the impossible line would be need my phone for the restaurant because I'm belling them like a brummie and telling them that they're scummy. Impossible. If you're not English and you don't follow football heavily, impossible. Because like the entendre is like quad there. It's
Nash would get it.
All right, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. Need my phone for the restaurant because I'm belling them like a brummie, telling them that they're scummy. I want to know if that can be depicted from anyone watching.
It's something with brummy then, no? Brummy. That makes me think it's brummy. That's one of the words.
See, I had like a leg up because I used to watch Faulty Towers when I was a kid, and I used to watch like
He's not
Dr. Who and
explaining
shit. No, I'm not explaining. He's not gonna explain it. He
No,
wants people.
Dlow ain't explaining it. I'm like, bro, I need to know now, bro.
He
God,
wants
man.
people to sit there and think about it. It's replay value, man. You gotta do it like that.
That one's hard to depict. I actually set the task. Shout out to Inky, by the way. Like, completely smashed the mix and master on this album. So, like, that was a serious help. The album wouldn't exist, or my projects wouldn't exist in that way without Inky. And I set him the challenge to try and depict that line. Actually, totally impossible. He got nowhere.
Yeah, you had a bunch. You had a bunch. You said, I don't come with a label, but labels do want me. Like, I don't come with a label, but you can't put a label on me. Labels are trying to come after me. You had like these crazy double time patterns. You had that one line about oh man, you said something about like the ideology, the aliens have seen us. Like the way you were just working off the planet schemes too. I was like, Jesus
Lyricism.
Christ. Yeah, I was just like, man, the man working his way through this.
Guys.
So
Appreciate
working their way through the system, I was like, Jesus Christ, man. And while I'm paying attention to the lyricism, I love the beatbox so much. So I'm getting pulled in two different directions. So you get the best of both worlds if you are really into beatbox and lyricism.
Hey, appreciate that. So, did you guys have you checked out the album in its entirety?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I let it
appreciate
play from start to finish in one go because it's a journey, right?
I got a little question then, actually, because I asked plenty of people before, the ones I shown before it released, I was asking for their favorites because it's just fun for me to know. So I want to know, out of what you've heard in the early stages, what's your favorites on the album?
Diesel, Mind Blank, Istanbul. On the first listen, those were the ones that
I can see. You said you like that. And you like that. Yeah, so Diesel, I see.
I like the aggressive shit, but also I like the Mind Blank was just such a vibe. It just took me on a journey when I was like, damn, it's just beautiful.
I appreciate that.
B3?
Cliff, if you want to go, because I want to segue that into something else. So if you want to go, Cliff, and then we'll start getting this thing.
I know where you're going with this. All right, so I can't pick my favorites because I like them all. But when I heard how'd you pronounce the word? I thought it was always baklavas. Is that my saying that correctly? Balaclavas. That was it. Balaclavas, dude. I was listening to the lyricism and I was just like, holy shit. Because you gave me like a bit of that grind feel, but at the same time, you brought in like different pockets that I'm not used to hearing. Even though it was like single little words you say here. I forgot what verse you were going into with that. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that was fire. Diesel was one of their two. Diesel reminded me of like something I should be hearing in Peaky Blinders. Like when they're doing like a walk-up scene or like an end credit or something. Like it had like this amped up vibe. But in the beginning, it had this badass, like old school, grainy sound to it. And then it just picks up as it carries on. Like, so those right there, Diesel, Balaclava, and let's see, what else did I say? I had one with heavy lyricism that I wrote down, but those two right there. And I also like the one with the music video, the main one that you had your main feature off too. That was fired.
I appreciate that. It's a cool list. I think that's the cool list.